Hey, Funkin' fans, please don't forget, you can always go to patreon.com/nice guys. Please make a donation for the show. We want to keep the lights on.
I have nothing to add. You did it so well, Strickland. Let's just get on with the show.
No, but you need to add something, Doug. Come on. Contribute, please.
Patreon.com/nice guys. That's the spot. Please, we are 100% funded by you all. And so far, we're 100% funded by you all. Let's just keep going.
As little as $2 a month. That's all we need. Thank you.
Their parents were cousins. Here's what's coming up on the Nice Guys on Business.
And you wonder why I give you shit that your stories are too long. I know I tend to ramble sometimes, but I make a conscious effort to try to leave out the stupid details that nobody gives a shit. Okay, so he pulled up behind me and I told him that I was at 1001 Cathedral Street, but he called me and he couldn't find the car and I was actually at Eager Street because I was on the opposite corner of Eager Street. So then he pulled up behind me and then he asked me if I could actually drive the car forward because he had to load the front and not the back. And he dropped the back of the flat. Who gives a fuck?
Apparently I do, but you know what? There you go again. Insensitive to my feelings. Okay, it's fine.
They knew all the right people and took all the right pills. They threw outrageous parties and they paid heavenly bills. There were lines on the mirror, lines on her face. She pretended not to notice. She was caught up in the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
We've started the show. You know that, right?
Have we?
Yeah, we have.
I have not really thought about that.
Okay, well, why
I'm
don't
usually
you do
very aware of, like, you know what? I know we haven't said we've started, but we actually really have started.
Okay,
but maybe
we've
we'll
started
do this.
the show.
No, I'm okay. Hey, I'll fix it in the mix in the editing. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Funkin' fans, welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Strickland Bonner, Doug Sandler on the other side of the microphone. And hey, we're cruising. We're rolling. We're in it. We're on it. We're going.
We are the Nice Guys on Business. We are here 5 days a week for your for your fuckery pleasure. I don't understand something. Why did it seem we just got finished recording, as you know, Strickland, Tuesday's episode, and now we've got the Monday, Wednesday, Fridays coming up, and now we're on Thursday's episode, and it seemed like literally as soon as you hit record, the recording was over. We had, how many topics did we say we were going to cover on Tuesday's show?
I think we have about 15.
15, and how many were holdovers? So we're kind of like AT&T, the rollovers from last week. How many did we have?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even look at the rollovers that we didn't get to last week. That would have made this more like 25.
Yeah.
Because you sent me like 14 or 15 new topics.
I get afraid. I really do. And I have no idea why. I get afraid that we're going to run out of things to talk about, not knowing that I think the security is like, it's having a blanket. I need the little, I need my whoopee.
You're like Linus, right? From the Peanuts.
Oh my gosh. I totally am Linus. When I was a little kid, I used to have this, I'm Jewish, you know, and shmata. It's called a shmata. It's a rag. And I used to have this rag my entire childhood. And I can tell you, I can probably, if I pause for 5 seconds, I could walk into the other room and get it out of my closet. Please don't. I still have it every once in a while. I need to get a good rub from my shmata.
I need to get a good rub every once in a while too, but I don't have a schmatza to do that. I got to go downtown to the block to get that. Yeah. Anyway, so which topic do we want to get to now, Doug?
Well, you know what I really want to talk about? But after we go through the Patreon thing, patreon.com/nice guys, we have levels from $100 to $1,500 a month. Please,
$100 to $1,500? We don't start at $100. We start at $2 a month.
No, Strickland, you said we started at $1. Don't make me go over there and check. Don't make me go over there and check. Did you put the $1 level?
I don't know. We're going to continue that. I mean, nobody's actually taken us up on that yet. Okay, you're right. I'm going to leave it because we're going to leave it on there. Yes. So yes, we started $1 per month.
Yeah, $1 per month. It is because we were feeling like, okay, we're at $70 a month as of the recording of this show. Mm-hmm. We're hoping that by the time this actually airs, we'll be more than $70 a month. It's not that challenging. What the fuck is the patreon.com/nice guys? Just go there. Okay. Is it nice guy or nice guys?
Nice guys.
The link is in the show notes. Don't listen to anything we say. Just go to the show notes.
Just
as a matter of fact, can we figure out how to make the show notes in Braille? Is that possible? Is that possible?
You got me on that one, Doug.
How would they do that with scrolling show notes? It would kind of be like a player piano, you know?
Well, it's kind of like, the ATMs, the drive-up ATMs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Why would you have Braille instructions at a drive-up ATM? That's how I feel about the podcast, right? If somebody is blind and they're listening to the podcast, why do they need to read the fucking notes, right? If you are at an ATM and you're driving up, I hope you have your sight, because you shouldn't be driving up to an ATM if you're blind.
I have the solution. I know what the solution is. I actually, Strick, I think finally I know an answer to something.
Okay.
You know why show notes are in Braille?
No, why?
So Siri can read it to you. That's exactly it. How about that? Where's your little drum roll now? Where's your little what's it, hi-hat thing?
Wait, I got it going. There it is. Okay, just had to get it up there, right? Damn.
Wow, how did you pull that out so fast?
Well, I actually was kind of slow on it. I had to pull up the screen first. I had it already loaded in. And you see, you made a big mistake showing me how to load stuff into Siri, because we had Ludacris on Tuesday, right? Rollout that I figured out how to load it.
See that? Steve Jobs is working at you from the grave also. You don't even have a Mac and you're already quoting Siri.
Into Zencaster, right?
Did I tell you? I told you, don't do this to me again, because I keep crying. I can't read my notes. I'm crying the entire episode.
Because you know what else that I've loaded in now? I mean, now that I know how to load songs into the Zencaster.
What are you going to play?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Where is it? Ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is.
Wait.
Oh, shoot. I hit go and stop at the same time.
Wait, is that Mbop? Who is that? Is that what that is? All right. Wait, turn that down. Hey, Strick.
Hanson, baby.
I sound like my parents. Turn that shit down. Yeah, that was Mbop, wasn't it?
If it's too loud, you're too old. That was Mbop from Hanson, yeah.
I know. I got the title, and I had no clue. I would love that game. If you gave me a song anywhere from the 70s to the late 80s, I probably don't even test me on this, because I'll probably fucking fail, because you'll pull some like obscure ass song out of your asshole. And
no, but it'd be fun. No, you know what? It would be fun actually if we could get, maybe Paul could come and do this for us, right? He could pick the songs, right?
Oh,
and he would play them, and whoever could chime in and name it first.
Yep.
Because, you and I, we'd be really good at that.
That would be a good game to play.
You remember Chuck Miller, the old DJ?
Yeah, absolutely.
He did that one time with me with a classic rock station. We're listening to this classic rock station, and he's like, oh man, I can name these faster than you. I'm like, dude, you are on crack. Okay, you are up against the rock and roll doctor here. You are messing with the wrong guy, right? So we do this for about an hour, like 10 songs or 12 songs, and he got one or two maybe, and I'm at like 7 or 8 or 9, right? So I hear the song come on. In the beginning of the song, it's just drums, right? And it's like, and I'm like, no time to guess who. And he was like, what? He was like, you heard 2 fucking drum beats.
It's all it takes. It's all it takes.
Right.
It's
he was
familiar.
No, the DJ announced it, right? You heard the DJ say the name. I'm like, dude, I warned you. You're messing with the wrong guy.
Now, my wife and I play this all the time because we have XM, so we go through the decades. So we'll start at the 70s. She likes to start at the 50s. I don't really. And she's much younger than I am, but she's definitely an old soul when it comes to music. She always gets the 50s and 60s songs well in advance of me. 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, not 90s. 70s and 80s, I kill it. The current songs I'm okay with also because I DJ, and that's just kind of the music. I don't even like the music I play. I just have to play it, and so I have to know it. 90s, I completely checked out of the 90s, so I don't know any of the music from the 90s. I mean, I'm familiar with it, I hear it, but I couldn't tell you like the artists, like Violent Femmes, or when were the Violent Femmes from?
That's the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something
late
like that.
Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, but I'm with you. I'm 60s, I'm good. 70s, 80s, 90s.
I got this entire list of topics that we basically covered none of on Tuesday's show.
We got to your new iMac, kind of, sort of.
That's not a little bit. That was like the post topics topic.
Well, actually, you know what? You did say Slack is whack. I mean, we talked about Slack. I don't know specifically what you wanted to talk about, so maybe we got to that one too.
Okay, so last week I'm driving. And I'm just and I think I called you. Or
I don't get to pick the topic. Are you just going to? By the way, I want to. Is this that you're getting ready to jump into? one of the topics on the list, or
Yes,
something completely
yes,
different?
No, it's one of the topics on the list, and you might have to
Okay.
help me with the setup because I can't remember exactly how it happened. But
All right, I'll
I
let you
called
slide.
you, and you're sitting in a tow truck. So do you remember the situation? How that even happened? We don't have to get into quite the AAA fiasco yet, but I just want to understand the scenario because
But that's totally it. This was like a complete customer service fail. So I don't know if this is going to be like good business advice or not. So
probably not. It's just
I'm
gonna be
coming
a
around a
shit show of this
corner
story.
and I hit a curb, right? And I popped my tire. Pop my back tire because I took the turn too tight, right? So I get a flat tire. So my electric car, I don't have a spare. Apparently the battery takes up too much space. So I have one of these like,
I'm just imagining your electric car overloading.
it's quieter than that though, but thank you anyway. It's my golf cart. It's totally silent. So I'm... So it has one of these things that it's like an air compressor with fix-a-flat built into it, right? So I try that, doesn't work because it's too big a hole or something.
Hold up. Let me go back to something you just said.
Okay.
You have a car, it doesn't have a spare.
There are a lot of cars out there nowadays
I've never
that don't.
heard of such a shit show of a car. Who would buy a car that doesn't have a spare?
Look, my electric car is not the only car out there that doesn't have a spare. I've had other cars that most
Not
do,
even one of
but
those little donuts?
no, it doesn't.
So
And it's
what's
probably not a great thing. It probably should have.
What is it? Right. I mean, that's like such a safety faux pas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
anyway,
I got AAA for,
I couldn't
guess.
get over that part of it to begin with, but let's go beyond that. Okay, I'm willing to put that aside for a moment to laugh at your problems.
Okay, good. So I call AAA and I get a tow, and they tell me, hey, if you need to get the tire replaced, there's a AAA official repair shop 10 miles away. Okay, great. Let's drop it there. So that we drop it there, and it's after hours, and so I do the little drop box thing, right? I call them at 7 o'clock in the morning.
You've gone past like most of the best part of the story.
Which is what?
I know we were going to talk about the AAA thing, but I want to talk about your experience with the tow truck operator.
My experience? I don't remember that part. I was so focused on my AAA bad customer experience.
Okay, all right.
What are you speaking of specifically with the tow truck driver? I don't remember.
You just get right through it. I mean,
Well, no. What was it that I
don't remember.
You and I were talking.
I know you. Well, that's where I picked up the story. So I thought, well, this is interesting. You're in a tow truck. What was the condition of the tow truck?
What? I don't remember. It's just you seem to be alluding to something that there was some entertaining aspect of my trip in the tow truck. And I don't remember any of that.
I wanted to spend some time talking about how the car like gets lifted onto. Did they have to put it on a flatbed? Did they use what was the kind of tow truck? I'm just trying to get a visual, man. That's all. Just work with me here for just a second. I'm creating the theater of the mind with our listeners,
dude. Remember we've had this discussion before about sometimes you'll start off on a story and I'll just stay quiet.
Just shut up. Just tell your story.
My electric car, it's not like a fucking spaceship, right? It's a goddamn car.
It doesn't have a spare tire, so I'm already thinking this isn't good.
It's a fucking tow.
Okay.
They put me on a flatbed. There was nothing unusual about the fact that my electric car is on a flatbed. It's like any other fucking car on a fucking flatbed tow truck.
The guy's like got a ham sandwich and he's like putting he's eating his sandwich. Whatever. Just go ahead.
You wonder why I give you shit that your stories are too long. I know I tend to ramble sometimes, but I make a conscious effort to try to leave out the stupid details that nobody gives a shit. Okay, so he pulled up behind me and I told him that I was at 1001 Cathedral Street, but he called me and he couldn't find the car, and I was actually at Eager Street because I was on the opposite corner of Eager Street. So then he pulled up behind me and then he asked me if I could actually drive the car forward because he had to load the front and not the back, and he dropped the back of the flat. Who gives a fuck?
Apparently I do, but you know what? There you go again. Insensitive to my feelings. Okay,
True.
It's fine.
It's only a 30-minute show, though.
Fine. You could take. That's probably why we only cover one topic in 25 out of 25, because I fucking like to take forever to tell a story, and you like to get through it so you can get to the next topic. I'm thinking, why are we rushing through this?
Because you gave me 15 topics to talk about.
I like. You know what, Strick? I like a little foreplay in my tow truck stories, okay? I'm sorry. You just don't pay attention. Hey, Strick, does this episode make my ass look big?
I'm so glad you got to finally work that joke in somehow.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. You tell it as you want to. I'll just listen and just sit back over here, and maybe every once in a while I'll chime in, okay? It's fine. I forgot I was part of the show. What was I thinking? Let me just Hey, I'm just going to go get something to drink. You just tell your
Was
story.
there something specifically interesting about my trip? Because all I remember about the trip coming from the tow truck trip was yapping with you the whole time. Like when I got off the phone with him, I was like, hey dude, I'm really sorry. It was kind of rude me talking on the phone the whole time. And he was like, no, I don't care, whatever.
He's just doing his job. What the fuck does he care?
Well, I was kind of drunk at the time too. So maybe there was something interesting that I forgot. I don't remember.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. He didn't make any moves on you, did he?
I met a friend for drinks, right? So I just had like, one drink or two drinks and eating some food, right?
Right.
And then I realized, you know what? Hey, I got a flat tire. I'm not gonna have to drive home, right? So I have one or two more drinks, and then I call to get the tow, and then it takes him 45 minutes. So of course I had two more drinks while I'm waiting.
Hold up. I know I don't want to make the story any longer than it is, but I really just need to know something. This is really what weighs on my mind when I go to sleep at night sometimes.
Yes.
You were able to, you hit the curb, so you know you have a flat tire, you pull over to the side, and you're at wherever you need to go, right? So you weren't far from there, from wherever you hit. Okay. Yeah. So you get into the restaurant knowing you have a flat tire, right? Are you with me so far? I'm with you. Okay. So you're actually able to have a meal, a conversation, and not worry about anything while you're sitting there. You're just like, I'll just deal with it later. So you're having a couple of drinks, and actually what consciously went through your mind is, I'm not going to have to drive home, so I may as well have a couple more drinks. And you got a flat tire outside. All I would be thinking is, oh, my entire night is ruined. Yep. I got to get the tow truck out here. I got to get okay.
And that's exactly why you and I are such a great compliment for the show.
Damn.
Because you're right.
You have nerves of steel.
If it happened to you, you wouldn't be able to have a drink. You'd have to call the tow guy immediately.
Yep.
And then, you know what would happen? The tow guy would be there 30 minutes later. And then you know what would happen? He would tow the car and you'd have to go along with him. So you wouldn't be able to enjoy the rest of your evening having drinks. So you're focusing on the bit. Now, I know I've got AAA, right? And I met with this was like a networking thing. And so it started at like 6 o'clock. So I knew it was going to end by like 8.
Right.
So I thought, you know what? Even if it's a horrible, terrible night and AAA is really late, they'll be here by like 9:30 or 10, right?
Right.
Who cares, right? Just gives me more opportunity. So yes, I'm focused on enjoying myself and having a couple more drinks because now I know I'm not going to have to drive home because I'm just not worried about the flat. It's not going to change at all if I wait another 2 hours.
I envy you. I do. I envy you. I just don't know how I would have been able to get through the drinks. I would have been, I got to keep my wits about me. The tow truck guy's going to come and he's going to try to take advantage of the situation. And he's going to try to upsell me on this. I mean, I know how my brain works and I'm going in that direction and I'm thinking, how is he so calm? He's sitting in a tow truck talking to me on the phone. I didn't even know you were drunk, but he was saying, let me just come out of our conversation for a second and talk in exposition for a moment. Nice guy community, this is exactly what happens all the time. Strick and I, and what is the first thing I said to you, Strick, when they get on the phone with me and you start telling your AAA story?
I don't remember. I was drunk.
Yeah, maybe.
What was the first thing I said? I don't remember.
The first thing I said to you was, "Oh shit, this is a great story. Don't tell me any of it. Save it for the show."
Save it for the show.
We're now back into the conversation, exposition, all aside. Okay, all right. So go ahead.
So I drop it off, and I drop the key off at the AAA place, right? And I call them, and they open up at 7 in the morning. So I call them at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, hold on a second. I'm raising my hand. Do you see
sure. Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Do you see my hand is raised?
I see it in the now. I see it in the old in the Zencastr.
So my question is this: while you're telling the story, am I allowed to ask questions?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
As long as it's not questions like, what kind of ham was in the driver's ham sandwich? Did you actually see him take it out of the package? Was it smoked? Did he have cheese on it? Was it Gouda or cheddar? Yes, as long as you don't ask that, I'm totally fine. You're more than welcome.
All right.
Are you just going to chime in, or are you going to raise your hand? Like, do I have to keep an eye on Zencastr for you to raise your hand?
I'll just chime in.
Okay, please do.
I just wanted to. It's such a cute little hand.
Yeah.
Such a cute little hand. Here's my issue, though, with the hand on Zencastr.
Yeah.
It's a white hand.
Mine looks yellow.
Mine's more like orange. Mine's more like a Mark Wilner orange.
Like a spray tan orange.
Yeah. I need to talk to Josh. I actually am interviewing him on Tuesday as a part of our podcast. I'd like to know why. I want a choice, kind of like on my iPhone, I can have a choice of the color of hand. If I want to be black that day, I should be able to be black.
Okay, so this is, again, the great difference between Doug and I, right? I am very much a guy.
Who are you talking to?
You. I'm talking to our audience now.
Oh,
it's okay to talk to the audience.
I didn't know we were allowed to talk to them.
No, that was your rule. You were like, we're not going to talk like we're talking to them. I'm okay talking to them as if they're in the room. Yeah. We just don't need to do exposition. Like, by the way, Paul is the creator of Zencastr, and we use Zencastr to do our recording. That's the kind of exposition I don't feel we need.
Well, and that was wrong anyway, because it's Josh, not Paul.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, Paul, Josh.
Okay, anyway, what about the difference between you and me?
Okay, so for me, if the issues that we've had with Zencastr, right? Let's say there's a list of 10 things that we have problems with Zencastr. Mm-hmm. I am going to prioritize them. And if I talk to Josh, I'm going to say, hey, Josh, here are the big problems. And the little ones I'm going to ignore. Whereas Doug, you're like, hey, dude, I want to have a black hand if I want a black hand.
I totally want.
Really, who gives a fuck? We have so many bigger problems than that.
Well, that is true. They're not big problems, actually. I mean, they're just problems. And I think they're problems, any little hiccups that companies have along the way. Strick, you remember when we were a little company?
No, you're right. And I'm saying this like Zencastr sucks, and it really doesn't. I'm just like, especially after you talked to Josh the other day. And
that was very nice of him.
Oh, yeah. Having people jump in and jump out is not really good. It's like, okay, as long as we know the parameters, then we can work it better so we won't have problems with it.
I do think there should be a different color hand option. There really should be. There should be one that has... You can
mention that on your Tuesday interview with him.
There should be one that has fingernails in case I'm feeling like a little bit more, more effeminate that day. There should be... what other ones should we have?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to come up with a list of hands that we should have for the...
Okay, Doug. You do that.
And back to our story.
You realize there is a point somewhere when you're interviewing him where he's going to go, this guy's a nut job. Why am I listening to anything that they're asking?
You know, so far, Strickland, and of all the interviews that I've done, I cannot believe somebody... I keep waiting for that moment that somebody is going to say, who the fuck are you, and how, what did I do to get on this show? And no, you cannot air this episode. I have that master fraud complex where I keep thinking somebody's going to find me out at any moment. Right. At any moment, somebody's going to figure out you're a complete fake. No, I'm actually like this. This is actually how I am. I'm not being fake. This is really me. And then they would say, well, this is a total shit show. And then just hang up or lose the connection. And you know what? That's going to make for that episode, that day. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see how far I can push people. I'm going to try. I'm going to try one interview, and we're randomly going to pick it. You need to do
that. What you need to do is when let's say you get an interview sometime in the next month or so, and within the first 10 minutes or so, you feel like, this is the most boring fucking piece of shit ever, right? But like the interview's not going well, and maybe the guest isn't very good, and you can't tell the guest, hey, by the way, I'm not going to air this because you're so fucking boring. That's when you push. Then you start asking weird, crazy shit and see what they say.
Strick, there's only been, okay, so I've done, I don't know, let's say 250 episodes, right? I mean, 250 interviews. Yeah. There's only been two. One of them where I actually had to call the guy out and say, hey, listen, I think that, okay. And the other guy, I didn't even have the heart to tell him. And I felt like he was never even going to miss the fact that the episode wasn't airing because he had nothing to do with technology. I think I called him on his flip phone. I called him. So he doesn't even know what a podcast is. So, but I thought when I set up the interview, I thought it was going to be really good. So it's going to be rare that those instances actually come up. And I can't wait for another one. I actually have to force the hand a little bit. There's not a lot of boring people. I can almost make excitement out of anything. I think I really got to push it a little bit.
Well, that last guy, I think he's still flipping through the stations on his AM radio listening for the interview.
No, he's looking for me on track 7 of his 8-track tapes. He's loading up the reel-to-reel cart right now.
Okay.
Anyway, AAA, right. Go ahead.
So I dropped my car off at 7. I dropped my car off overnight, and I call them at 7 o'clock in the morning. They first open, right? And I say, hey, I dropped it off. Oh, hey, here it is, Mr. Bonner, your Ford Focus. Yes, all good. Okay, you need to. Okay, great. We'll call you back in about 15 minutes with an estimate. Okay, great.
So wait, this is the morning after, or was this the night of?
Morning after, because when I dropped it off, they were closed already.
Okay.
But there's a little drop box. So I drop off and I drop the key off and they saw the drop box. And again, I called them like 5 minutes after they opened. They opened at 7 o'clock the next morning. hey, we'll call you back in 10 or 15 minutes with a price, right? Okay. So first of all, they call me back with a price and they say, okay, you got to do 2 tires, not 1. I'm like, well, I only popped 1. Yeah, but the other one is worn and they have to wear evenly. Okay, whatever, fine.
What?
Right? So like, okay, the price is going to be...
No advice, you have to? It's not like you can?
Well,
like,
and again, I was kind of annoyed about that, right? I have 20,000 miles in my car, right? And this was a rear tire, right? So with front wheel drive cars, I don't think I've ever rotated my tires yet. So the front tires, I would imagine, are going to wear faster than the rear because it's a front wheel drive car, right? So I'm thinking 20,000 miles. I don't think the wear is going to be that different. And maybe I should have argued about that one, but I didn't. And
how much are the tires? How much are they?
Okay, so now then here was the next thing, right? So because then by the way, I looked when I got my car back. I looked at my front tires. Yeah, they're worn some, but they're not worn down that much. So I'm thinking the back ones have got to be worn less. Anyway. Didn't go there. I probably should have. So they say, okay, 2 new tires with install and everything. You get a 10% discount on the labor because you're AAA. I'm like, okay, good. It's going to be $450. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of money.
I don't have some big SUV with 21-inch tires. I'm like, this is, and then I'm like, that's a lot. Are there any other options? Oh, she says to me like, oh, with like, I don't know why you would even ask that. I gave you the price, but okay, let me work something up and I'll call you right back. Okay, please do, right? So 5 minutes later, she calls me back and she says, okay, we can get you some General tires. General being the brand name.
What was the other brand? Michelin?
She didn't even tell me.
Oh, okay.
She didn't even say, right? So she calls me back and says, we can get you some General tires and it'll be $318. And I'm like, $130 less. Yes, thank you very much. That's what I want. But so first of all, when she first called, it wasn't like, hey, here are your options, right? We're not talking about a transmission or a water pump, right? Like if I'm getting a water pump fixed, I'm not going to have them say, we can give you the premium water pump at this price, or we can give you the, I mean, shit, you might even get an option on a refurb, right? But they're not going to go over different, these are tires, all right? There are like 20 different manufacturers of tires out there. So I would think the first call would be, hey, here are your options. We have this one, this one, this one. And by the way, we think you should buy the $450 ones because of this wear and this warranty and this whatever bullshit.
It was almost like it was a surprise that you were asking her for another option.
Right.
Okay.
Like, come on. You're a big fucking center. I know you sell more than one kind of tire, right?
All right. So that's strike number 1. No options for the customer.
Exactly.
Okay.
So strike number 2, when I call back, and she doesn't even, when she doesn't say, hey, by the way, the other ones were $130 more expensive because of X, Y, and Z extra shit that you get with them. And they're so much better. No, she's just like $320. I'm like, okay. Like, I feel like, she was just like throwing a dart at a board and coming up with a price or something. Okay. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off.
She didn't even say, the $450 was Michelin's. She just said they're going to be $450, right?
All right.
Anyway, $320, I like that price a lot better. So I said, okay, go for it. It's all good, right? And so she has called me back twice now, by the way, and then I'll get into the story in a little bit. So she calls me back twice, and I say, let's go with that. And she says, okay, great. They'll be ready later this afternoon. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I should have said this, and I didn't. But I'm thinking to myself, I called you 5 minutes before you opened because I would like it to be done in like an hour so I could pick them up on my way into work.
Oh, no.
Why is it going to take all fucking day to put 2 tires on?
I can tell you why. That's the $450 option.
If I'd paid that, I could have gotten them in an hour, right?
No, that's not actually for a different tire. That's the rush fee. So in order to get it out the door.
Got it. And I understand, especially at a mechanic or someplace where they're doing car repair, that later in the day, things are going to get crazy and busy. And so you want to call early. So that's what I did. But no, that didn't apparently help. So it's like 5 o'clock. They close at 8 or something, 7 or 8, right? 5 o'clock. I haven't gotten a call back yet, right? So I called them and I'm like...
Wait, 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
No call
they're like,
back
they'll
yet?
be ready. No. They'll be ready later this afternoon. So I call them and I'm like, guys, what's my ETA here? I haven't heard back from you. Oh, Mr. Bonner, we've been trying to get in touch with you. Oh, really? Because I've been by my phone all day?
Yeah.
And the guy says, so I have the number here, 870, and I'm like, oh, no, it's 807. Oh, okay, I see we got the numbers backwards. Okay, sorry about that. And I'm thinking to myself,
what?
The girl called me back twice.
What?
Already. How is it that between her calling me back and something else somewhere that this guy's looking at, the numbers got transposed? Right?
Gosh. Okay.
And then second thing is like, I'm thinking, you have my AAA number, right? you could look me up from my AAA number because that's how I drop my car
when
off.
they said that they're trying to reach you back, what was like what happens? Is it can't complete this call is dialed? Is it a busy signal? Is it I left a message and Mr. Bonner, you're not calling me back? You figure. So what time did they start calling you back?
Right, they didn't even tell me. I didn't even ask, and I didn't care because I was so pissed about it.
Right, okay.
And I should have actually tried the number because, oh yeah, we've been trying to get in touch with you. I'm thinking the same thing. Okay, so did you get somebody else? Did you get that it was a bad number?
Did somebody approve the $450 purchase?
Right, did when the message hello, hi, Strickland there? No, I'm sorry. And then what do they do? Oh, wrong number. Sorry. I guess we'll just leave this car here for the next couple of months until somebody calls about it. What the fuck, right?
We'll wait for them to call back. We're so busy. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So they got my AAA number. They could have looked up. They have my email address. They could have emailed me. So fucking annoyed. All right. So that's
many options.
Customer service fail again right there. So that's the third one with AAA now, right? And yes, it does get worse. Okay. So they call me back and they're like, hey, you need an alignment. We couldn't do the work yet. 5 hours later, 8 hours later, because
wait. So at 5 o'clock, they weren't calling to tell you it's ready. They were calling you to ask you a question like, we need to do an alignment.
Exactly. We need to charge you even more money because you need an alignment.
Well, Strick, they got to obviously make up the $100 and some odd they lost on the lower sales. So how much was the alignment that they want for you?
Well, $88 with a 10% discount, so it was $80.
Okay.
Now I did post something on Facebook later, and because they gave me this sheet that was like this digital sheet of hey, here's what your alignment is now, and here's where it is now that we fixed it. And I did have my car guys my friends on Facebook yeah, your alignment was pretty fucked up. They were not jacking you. You really did need an alignment. You should have.
Yeah, it's a shame that was for a car that they did about 8 months ago, though.
well, it was interesting too because David Cohen, one of my friends who really knows cars, he was like, oh yeah, that right rear looks really out. It looks like you hit a curb or something. And I'm like, dude, you're like the Rain Man of cars.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You can look at this sheet and tell me that I hit a curb, which is exactly right. So
yeah, he is a car guy.
Yeah, so it was way out because I hit the curb. It wasn't like the car was crap.
All right, so you needed the alignment, so it's $80 more. Okay.
I need the alignment. So so it'll be ready in an hour. Okay, great. So I get my daughter to give me a ride up there in an hour, right? So I'm in the AAA store. And this is like a big store. It's not Hold
up, your daughter?
Yeah, she's driving now. Yeah.
Now she's got her license now?
Yeah, Amanda, just one of them. But yeah, I know, crazy.
Gosh, that is crazy. Okay.
So I go into the AAA store, and it's not just like a little gas station. This is a big store, right? Where they sell AAA memberships and they sell maps and all this other crap, right? So
wait. They have maps there?
I know.
I love maps.
I know you should.
I am a map guy. I love just to go. They used to make you go into the AAA in order to get the maps because they had this whole back rack of maps. Now they have them in a vending machine out front. You can just type in where you want to go. And it just drops out the bottom. I love maps.
That's cool. I didn't know they could do that.
Anywho,
so I go in, and there's 4 people working, right? And I talked to the guy who seemed like, older, grizzled guy. So he was like the mechanic guy, right? And he explains to me what happened with the car and replacing the tires. Also, okay, great. So he writes me up, right? And he's like, okay, well, the cashier will take care of you in just a minute. And there's a woman who's talking to another couple over there, right? And so apparently she is the cashier. Well, the woman is talking to a couple who is thinking about signing up for AAA. So she's telling them, oh yeah, you get roadside assistance, and she's giving them all the features of what you're going to get when you buy this subscription to AAA.
You're in line waiting to get to the front of the line, and there's somebody that's being sold a AAA membership.
Oh, and by the way, no, yes, but it's even better than that because we're the only people in the store. Right? It's not like there's a ton of people and there's a long line. It is this other couple that the cashier is talking to sell them this AAA membership and me. That's it. Nobody else in there except for the old grizzled guy, the cashier. There are two other women working there.
Does the guy's wife that's married to the old grizzled guy say that he's an old grizzled guy?
Well, I'm guessing he's not a listener to the podcast, so I'm not too worried about it. And there are 2 other people working, AAA people doing other things like behind computers, right? Mm-hmm. And this counter that I'm at, which is like the cashier counter, I see 4 computers, which all look like, you that's where you could log in a sale, right? Mm-hmm. And there are 2 credit card things like you can swipe your credit card, right? So the guy, and the guy's talking, and he's obviously making small talk, right? Because he kept putting into there, oh yeah, cashier will be ready in just a minute. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you can't do this. Like, you got all my paperwork, right?
Oh, no.
All you got to do is put the fucking card in and do it. But no, you can't because...
It's a union job.
It must be. It must be, right? But the couple that they're talking to, the couple's like, hey, okay, good. Yeah, we'll sign up. Okay, great. So they have to get all their information. This isn't like, give me a credit card and we're done. Because what kind of car do you have? And give me your driver's license. And they need all the information. And I'm literally, after the grizzled guy has been talking to me for at least 5 minutes, making small talk, trying to kill time. Is the
grizzled guy the guy that's getting the membership?
No, the grizzled guy works there.
Oh, I got you.
And that's why I can't figure out why he can't just take my fucking credit card.
Did you ever discover why?
In his hand.
Did you ever discover why he couldn't take your credit card?
No.
Okay.
I'm too nice with these things. You know what? I don't bitch there.
Oh,
I just bitch
totally
on the podcast afterwards.
No. Yeah, well, it does give you good fodder for the podcast. But what I would do in that particular situation is go to the guy or any of the other people that are sitting there not working the register and say, hey, she's working on a membership. Any possible way that I can get checked out of here so I can just go?
No, I totally should have. I was being too nice, and I kept thinking, oh, it'll just be another minute.
Were you still drunk from the day before?
No. No.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's the reason why.
No. But it was so ridiculous because the other two women, all like on the other side of the store, they were behind their computers doing some work. I don't know what they were doing, but obviously they couldn't come over and help me cashier either, right?
Maybe they were busy. Maybe they were making maps. I think the map makers. Apparently, we have some cartographers in the house, and they were making maps.
I hate this because I talk to you, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't I do that? God, I'm too nice. Anyway,
no, you really are.
I totally should have said something.
I've seen you in the strip clubs. How you handle the strippers, you really are way too nice. You gotta be a little bit more forceful.
Oh my God. Okay,
Gosh.
so and she's talking, and literally after the guy had done 5 minutes of small talk to keep me busy, it was another 10, and he eventually ran out of conversation, and he's literally just sitting watching me. He's sitting there.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Mr. Bonner? We are not famous podcast hosts and can actually make 35 minutes out of absolutely nothing like you and your co-host. Sorry, I gotta go. I believe that I must go ungrizzle myself.
Oh God. So 10 minutes later, she finally finishes up with this couple, right? And she says, hey, so sorry about the wait here. Let's do this, right?
Sorry for the wait.
And literally, my transaction.
Sorry, Mr. Boner. Sorry.
My transaction took under a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Literally, she looked at the paperwork, she punched some things in, she put my credit card, and I was done.
Have a nice day.
Right. And again, I wanted to say, you couldn't have taken that. You couldn't have said to this couple, hey, could you hang on one second?
Right,
this will take
exactly.
me under a minute. I just want to get this guy taken care of because I know that trying to sell you a membership, I'm going to need to take all this other fucking paperwork that's going to take me another 10 minutes to do. So give me 1 minute. Or, hey, Grizzled Joe, do you think, dude, you might be able to help me out here?
He's got a name now. This is good. Strickland, you've taken all of our time. Hey, Strick, can we do a bonus episode? Is that possible? What happened? What are you talking to?
I'm sorry, what was my daughter? What was that? What did you say?
I said, wait, your daughter's allowed in your glass enclosed studio? I thought it was hermetically sealed.
No, unfortunately not. We're working on that. If we can get a few more Patreon donations, maybe I can get a hermetically sealed glass enclosed box here. But anyway, such a fucking fail, right? And like, why couldn't they find one of those other two women to go, hey, could you just come over and run this credit card? And why couldn't the grizzled guy, like, does he not know what a fucking credit card is? All she had to do was literally plug the credit card in and the paperwork was done already. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
Such
sorry,
a fail.
Oh, sorry. So what it came down to was you still spent nearly $500 there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. No, 400. It ended up being about $400. Yeah.
Oh gosh, what a horrible thing. A horrible experience all around. So who from AAA is a funkin' fan that we can get on the blower here and explain what the situation is? Because we can never seem to get, we really do work hard to try to understand the frustrations that all consumers, including ourselves, go through. But it never feels like a fruitful outcome because we never are able to come up with a resolution. Who can help us with this? Got to be somebody.
We've got a good number of people that are really good with with customer service that have helped. T-Mobile, the guy we interviewed for who we think actually helped T-Mobile, even though he couldn't say the T-Mobile name. I went into the T-Mobile store to get my daughter a new phone the other day, and they were just ridiculously helpful, really nice. And we asked, hey, can you help us move the data from the one phone to the other? And they were really busy, right?
Yep.
But she was totally patient, and she was like, she plugged it in, she got it all set up, and it said it'll be 27 minutes, like to copy all the data over.
Right.
And she actually said, hey, this is going to take a few minutes. Would it be okay if I help some other people while we're waiting? I'll come back and check. And I was like, yeah,
so
of course.
maybe T-Mobile
And
needs to teach AAA a lesson.
They do. They do. Somebody needs to. Maybe I should call their customer service and have a talk with them. Maybe we'll do that live on the podcast next week. Maybe we'll call and have a discussion. So, when they answer the phone and it said, This conversation may be recorded for training purposes.
We're going to
we'll say the same thing back to them. Need to let you know that this conversation is being recorded for podcast purposes.
I think this is a good idea. What I was going to ask you just a couple of minutes ago is, we're rolling through. We absolutely have covered many of these topics, and I feel like we're in a good groove right now.
No, we've absolutely missed every single one of these topics, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I know you have a time constraint, but how much time do you have?
Oh, I have time. We can keep talking if we want to make this a super extra long bonus episode.
No. I want to do it. Can we release a Saturday episode?
Well, why don't we just make this one longer? But these go to 11.
I don't know. I think that people they're sitting in their car, they're right outside, and they want to be able to go in. And maybe if we just continue tomorrow, we're going to confuse people, and they really won't know what to do, and they'll probably end up I don't know. How does that work?
We could record one episode a whole week early.
Oh, geez. No, that would be okay, let's try that.
Yeah, because you're going to come up with a dozen more topics.
I know.
For the next week.
I'm going to be all backlogged with episodes, and then I'm going to
I do like some of these topics you've come up with, though.
Thank you.
Door-to-door Jesus worshipers.
I do. Oh, my gosh. We got to talk about that. All right. So here's what we're going to do.
My burper is broken.
We're going to... Yeah.
And we never got to why Mara is your new most favorite person in the world. I want to hear that.
Yeah. So Mara's probably hanging out listening to this, the very tail end of this episode. Sorry for all the people that we lost, but Mara's probably tuning in now. I want to cover all of this stuff. I really think, you know what? We should have a relaxed Saturday episode. Let's just do that. Let's
record another episode, and then we'll decide when we're going to air it later.
Right. Okay, let's do that. Why don't you do the you know what? We haven't done the, what was that? What's going on?
I don't know. It was
oh, that's you. Wait a minute, let me do that. No, mine doesn't do that. You know what, Strick? I'm standing up.
I'm not sure why mine is ringing, but I'll figure it out later, yeah.
Let's cut the episode here. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll come back on another day.
We'll come back on another day. It'll either be Saturday bonus or something, or next week, or who knows what.
I love this idea of having a Saturday bonus episode. So if you're listening,
yeah, because you don't have to fucking do anything for it. I'm the one that's got to edit it.
That's true. I guess I'm being kind of thoughtless here. Sorry.
We'll talk about it. We'll do another episode. We'll figure it out when
Nice
we're
Guy
going to air.
Community we didn't do the promise statement at anything.
Well, just on Tuesday and Thursday. We did it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Because we haven't done those yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. 1, 2.
Yeah, Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
The Nice Guys on Business are professional podcasters. Please do not try this at home. It may seem simple, kids, but lots of people get hurt in the process. Void where prohibited, including Mexico, Puerto Rico, Fredonia, or your in-laws. The Nice Guys on Business are not responsible for any claims of liability or any guarantee that these two morons know what they're talking about. There is no promise that being nice to people will help your business, but calling people assholes, dumb, incontinent fuckwads will definitely lose you business. For any and all claims, shit in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one fills up first. Thank you for listening to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. I'm Steve O'Brien. Well, there's always money in the banana stand.